Oh my god, I did it. I made it to 10K. Wow. This is the Q&A for reaching over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm posting this on my second channel because I have big plans for this channel. I want to use it maybe to kind of vlog learning other languages, maybe is what I'm thinking. And just to throw whatever I want on it too. Maybe like travel vlogs at some point in the future. And definitely some sort of complicated scheme of leveraging clout to receive free books from publishers. Um, you know, each, having the same level of like achievability, each of those goals. But we'll see if we can make that happen. But for now, I'm just going to do this 10K Q&A. So first question, I'm just going to read. It's like two questions, but I'll read all of it because it's in one comment. How did you get into art and illustration initially? Do you foresee future content using your illustrations the way you do now, or would you consider switching things up, trying new styles, depending on how you want to present the info? Congrats on 10K. Thank you so much for your congratulations. I appreciate that so much. You're the GOAT. Now, let me start by answering this question. The first one. When I was a kid, I was really into Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man a lot. I got really into comics. I was one of those guys who I got really into Marvel, and I hated Stan Lee because I felt like he did Jack Kirby so dirty, and I don't know if like things, I don't know, like if that was not the case, then I don't, that's fine, whatever. But yeah, like I was really into that kind of stuff. Yeah, so the Spider-Man cartoon, the one from the '90s, was my favorite cartoon when I was a kid, and him Spider-Man screaming "no" at the top of his lungs as Mary Jane just disappears. It kind of haunts my memories a little bit, but I really like that show, and it got me into drawing, and I drew a lot because of it. Do you foresee future content using your illustrations the way you do now, or would you consider switching things up, trying new styles, depending on how you want to present the info? Um, you know, Obviously, I think many people have noticed that like I've switched the art style like maybe 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. I really want to pursue this kind of manga-esque art style. I really want to build on that for now. If I feel like that's not worth it, I'm going to switch it up again. I think one of the thing is like what I like about having a YouTube channel is kind of like the freedom of it all. Just to put out what interests you, to pick a topic you're interested in, and I think because I like drawing so much, part of the appeal there is also I can draw whatever I want. So, yeah, if I feel like that this kind of direction I'm going to isn't good, I'm going to stop it. But for now, I want to pursue this style and build on it. And you can kind of see in like the second channel, we have like little uh, tests of like me trying out like new editing techniques in tandem with this new style. And I kind of want to see if I can make it work, if I can build it on it and make it something really impressive. But yeah, what does multipolarity mean to you as a Palestinian? Yes, this is one of those internet buzzwords. To me, it represents. I mean, objectively, it represents the end of U.S. hegemony over the world. The U.S. becoming, stepping down from its role as like the global superpower. And well, history is kind of complicated. Politics are very complicated. We don't know if that's, we don't know how that is going to like turn out. It might be just like the best thing that ever happened, or it might like just blow up in everybody's face. But obviously, the U.S. is Israel's like number one backer in the world. If the U.S. wasn't so like rock hard for Israel, a lot of the violence in Palestine wouldn't be happening. you could argue Israel would just like find another patron, but I think that, I don't know. I'm not convinced that they could do it, or if they did, it would be less successful on their part. Um, to me, as a Palestinian and a citizen of the world, I kind of see like the shifting powers, and I think it's going to lead to a massive power struggle, and that's kind of a scary thought. But it could also lead towards what happened in the 90s, where the Soviet Union and the United States collaborated a lot together on, certain aspects of policy, and because of that, a lot got done. The peace process, for example, the U.S. and the USSR both worked together to get that started. The ICTY, the International Criminal Tribunal for Yugoslavia, and the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, both of which I think are important. There are flaws to those kinds of tribunals, but they were still important. Those kinds of things could only happen if there were teamwork between all members of the Security Council, namely being the United States and Russia. This level of there's opportunities and there's, pitfalls, and we'll have to see where that goes. I hope that's a good answer. That's kind of off the top of the dome. And sorry about that. Third question. If there is to be a one-state solution on Israel-Palestine, what should be the model followed? Do you think the Swiss-style canton system can work? So, in anticipation of this question, I just Googled the Swiss canton system. So, it's essentially sort of just like a confederation of like a bunch of smaller states, and we kind of have something similar to that in the United States. And as someone in the U.S. who has just like a basic understanding of U.S. history and the U.S.'s political system, I see a lot of pitfalls in that kind of government structure, especially in a very sectarian society. It's how much power are you giving to the cantons? What kind of political decisions do these cantons have? We don't want what we have in the U.S., where like a few states just are like ruining all sorts of like progress that the majority would want. These kinds of things worry me, and I guess maybe in the future, if the one-state solution becomes the most popular solution, for all parties between the river and the sea, maybe that will be the new political divide. We'll be seeing people, federalists against, people who want a more unitary system, and I guess I would be more on the side of someone who wants a more unitary federal, the federal government having more powers system, if that were to be the new political divide. Although this is a very kind of like fantasy situation. Shit's not looking good right now, to be frank. But yeah, I hope that's a good answer. I don't know if it is. I'm not taking these Q&A as like the most seriously, but yeah. What interests you in your downtime other than drawing and making videos? I think I want to say just hanging out with friends, because this is already my hobby. Drawing is already my hobby. The YouTube channel is already sort of my hobby. So beyond that, I would say it's hanging out with friends, doing shit like that. And I guess another thing is something I'm starting to take a little bit more seriously is language learning. I'm really trying to become as fluent as possible in Arabic, and I really want to pick up a third language. I think I mentioned this in a community post once. So yeah, I think that's usually how I spend my downtime. I unfortunately don't have a lot of downtime because of school, but whatever. This is the fifth question. I lived in Syria many years and thought that most Arab countries and governments treated Palestinians very well and with open arms until I was made aware that it was not the case. The first encounter I made is that people from my family advising me not to be friends with some Palestinian refugees because they had a bad reputation as a whole. Then I learned that many Palestinians who were even born in some Arab countries were made second-class citizens by not allowing them to have citizenships. not allowing them to work certain jobs, and not allowing them to live outside certain places, which had very bad basic services. And now, when I became politically aware, I have a feeling that many Arab countries who speak in the name of Palestinians don't actually care about them and or make decisions that harm the Palestinian cause more than it helps. So, what are your thoughts about it? And how do you perceive the Arab countries and society in relation to Palestine and Palestinians? So we're ending this on a very hard question, but you wrote a really long question, so I decided to answer it. I've spoken about this before. I know that the people, right, the people of for example, Syria, support Palestinians. I know this. I don't think when you're dealing with people who are refugees, I think that unfortunately, people who are not refugees in the country, in the host country, in some way look down on them. And it's just a tragic thing, I think, that many people do. But I do think that overall, the people in Arab countries are supportive of the Palestinian cause. The governments are not. I know the governments are not as supportive as they could be. And this is something that I think I watched a lecture with Rashid Khalidi where he was talking about why it shows the importance of supporting democratic movements in the Middle East. Because there's no way that a government that would be accountable to the people and where the people are supportive of the Palestinian cause, that they would make these kinds of decisions that just unilaterally screw over Palestinians. Palestinians in whichever Arab country, they're dealing with just the problems of being a person exiled from their home and being a descendant of those kinds of people, but they're also dealing with not getting enough services in their own country, and it's bad. More needs to be done. I don't have most of the solutions for that, but I agree it's a problem, and I think it's not a problem I can solve, but I think it could be if people put the effort towards solving it. And with that, that's going to be the end of the Q&A. I know for a fact this is just not the most composed way I could have done this, but I'm tired, I decided I had to get this out instead of letting it rest. I feel very sorry to members of my Discord, who I'm going to link, the Discord of which I'm going to link in the description, who are waiting patiently for me to release this because I kept promising I'd release it and I just didn't. So I'm releasing it now. Thank you so much for watching. Wait patiently. I'm going to try to do big things with this channel. I hope. Thank you and have a good day.